Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to a very wet Little Red Ninja Allotment channel. Wow, I thought I'd have 5 minutes over the allotment today before all this heavy rain comes and goes, and wow, my prayers weren't answered. We've got loads of rain. But in today's video, I've just put the last of the bags of leaves into the leaf bulb bin, and as you can see there, it's right to the very top. It got down to about, where are we? About there. So went down, well, sunk down quite a bit. So that's all ready, just a waiting game now, just to occasionally add some bits and pieces to it, like human wee and coffee grounds, just to speed it up, but not yet for my leaf bulb bomb. That will be later in the year. But in today's video, I've got a few tricks for you. Wow, mainly a few surprises of what you can use on your allotment. Well, anywhere really where you grow stuff, even your flowers that you have in your gardens, namely everything. So let's get back to the den where I've got them, and let's show you what I've done over winter. And it's very easy to do, very easy, and it's also cheap as well. Don't get me wrong, people do buy liquid feed, but what I will show you will help you save a lot of money. So let's get back to the den and show you all these liquid feeds that I've done. So let's crack on out of this rain. Well, back in the den, and it's absolutely tipping it down outside. But these are some of my homemade fertilizers I've done over the winter, and given them a bit of a shake up, especially that one there, because that one I trialed last year, and I thought I'd make an even stronger liquid fertilizer for what I'm going to use it for. But I'll tell you all about all these liquids. Some have got certain veg they help, some help everything. But let's crack on and take you through each one, and let's crack on. Right then, the first one is, you can probably tell by the colour, this is a tomato feed, and it is concentrated. It is a passata sauce, which is very, very cheap indeed, about 50p. And I've put a little bit in. I did that first week in January just to ferment it a little bit more, and it is quite strong. Well, the smell's quite strong anyway, so I kind of like leave the lid on so it doesn't stink out the den, but I occasionally have to undo it just to relieve the pressure, because a lot of pressure builds up with the fermenting. So that's also a good trick to do. But last year I trialled passata with feeding my tomatoes and my peppers, but mainly my tomatoes, and I had an unbelievable harvest of tomatoes, and it carried on right the way till the end of September, and I had an unbelievable amount of tomatoes. I didn't use tomato feed, that Tomarite or any other tomato feed. I just used bog standard tomato juice, and it worked a treat. So I've made a concentrated liquid, and hopefully it should do the same as last year. So let's crack on with the other bowls that I've done. Right, the next one is onion peel fertilizer. Not for onions, it's made from onions, mainly the onion peel, and it's ideal for fruit. And all you need to do is fill up a bottle of pop, empty bottle that is, with clean water, stick in the skins of the onion, whether it be red or white or yellow. Just stick it in a bottle and let it steep for a couple of weeks. Ideally, I did this in January, so that is steeped for quite some time, and as you can tell, the water is a nice colour. But it's very good for fruit, but it's also beneficial when your veg and fruit starts flowering, and you use it as a spray. Well, you can use it in your watering can, but I've used it in a spray bowl in my polytunnel, and it works a treat. Absolutely works a treat. I just forgot, I didn't say how I do this feed, and this feed is just filled right to the very top, nearly, well, mainly to about there, with water, clean water that is, and just fill it with the passata and just let it do its own thing. And as you can tell, it is fermenting because of all the bubbles. So that's pretty good. But back to the onion fertilizer. This stuff is like rocket fuel, and it's cheap as well. And so far, with the two fertilizers, I've not even spent £1 yet. So pretty cheap. But let's get on with the next one, and you might recognize what's in that bottle, and everyone can do this. But let's crack on and do the third lot. If you're liking the video, please do smash the like button and the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, which hopefully you'll enjoy this video, and I will have plenty more videos like this in the future, or in the coming weeks, maybe in the coming months. But with this one, you can probably guess, yep, it's banana. And banana peel feed is very, very good because it's got potassium in it, which quite a lot of plants want, and they want a good supply. And this is quite concentrated because I did this before the end of the year. So that has been steeping for about 4 months now, and that is ready to go. It's also good for your butternut squashes, your pumpkins, even your tomatoes as well. But one thing it's not good for is your salads. You don't want this on your lettuce, so try and avoid using this on your lettuce. But this is pretty straightforward as well. Once you've eaten the banana, you cut it into strips. Some people cut it into little tiny squares, but I prefer the strips because it ferments better, that I've found. But all you do, stick the water in like the other 2 or 3 there,
just stick in strips of bananas, and in there is probably about three lots of banana skins. So quite a lot of potassium in there. And when you've used that up, because people will eat bananas, you can make this all year round and have a plentiful supply. And you don't have to go to a garden centre to get expensive liquid feed for your squashes or even your tomatoes, like with that lot. But the good thing as well, when you've actually finished using all of that, which I normally do, I cut open the bottle so I can get all the banana skins out, and I add it to my compost bin. And it is very good because the worms love all that stuff, especially the banana skins, and they will go through it like a dose of salts. They really will, which is really good. And it will also improve your compost, especially in your compost bin. But that's me going on about compost again. But let's get on with the rest of them. And doesn't look like there's anything in them, but there is. So let's crack on with all these three. So let's crack on. Right then, on to the fourth one. And this one is, and I've given it a bit of a shake up, is Eggshell Fertiliser, or Eggshell Concentrate. And this product that I'm doing is very good and very important to use on mostly tomatoes. And the reason for that, it stops blossom end rot. And especially if it's in a liquid feed, you do get people just putting eggshells around their tomatoes, but I've found that this is a lot better. It's just like my passata mix, but I don't put any passata. I just put eggshells in there with water and let it steep for as long as possible. There is another method that I use with eggshells, especially in the liquid fertilizer range that I do, and that I'll show you probably in a couple of weeks, because there is a chemical reaction that happens with the other method that I do, and I need to be in the polytunnel for that. And hopefully this rain will get lost, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to show you. But this one is straightforward as well. Crush up some eggshells. If you have any eggshells, just crush them up, stick them in the bottle, fill it up with water, and let it do its own thing. And when you do use this liquid, decant it into a watering can, probably about that much, about an inch of the water, and then dilute it with water in your watering can, and just spray it on the ground. And that way you'll stop blossom end rot in its tracks. But that is later in the year, so I've got a few months to go before I use this, but it's also a good thing to have in reserve, so you stop having nasty tomatoes, you have decent tomatoes. But let's get on with the final 2 bottles. And here we go. Let's just get this one out of the way. There we go. And this one is a highly concentrated one, and this one has got Epsom salts in it. It might not look like there's Epsom salts in it, but they're all at the bottom. So what I'll do, I'll just stop recording, give it a shake up, and hopefully it'll get cloudy.
So be right back. There you go. A little bit cloudy, but I didn't put enough in, so I need to make another one. But it's always good to have reserves in, and I'll be using that very soon. And that is very good for your peppers, tomatoes again, and if you're not sure, onions. But I've tried it on all my veg, and it does a trick. And I did get given the Epsom salts, so that didn't cost me a penny. So that was actually free. So that's something to carry on with. If you do have Epsom salts, do make a concentrated feed of that, and that'll help your all your peppers, tomatoes and onions. And finally, the last one is the cheapest of the lot. Just water. But this water is slightly different. This water is from a boiling pan, or a couple of boiling pans, and what was in the boiling pan were veg, all sorts of veg, and veg that I've actually grown over the allotment. So I'm recycling the nutrients from what I've grown, put it in the water, boiled it, ate it, but the water I let cook, I cooled it down, and then just added it to this bottle, and that is as straightforward as it goes. And that is probably the cheapest fertilizer you can get, because all the nutrients from the veg have seeped into that water. I did do it a couple of years ago and had a bit of a hit and miss success on it. Some parts of the plot were helpful, some parts weren't, but I'm giving it another go. So hopefully cooked water, well, water that's been used in cooking, will do the trick. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video today on my homemade liquid fertilizers. There are a lot more that I do, but I thought I'd show you a small selection today. And I really do hope you've enjoyed the video, and yet again, thank you very much for watching. And in next week's video, hopefully I'll be over on the allotment if this rain stops. Hopefully I will, because I've got a lot to do. So in the meantime, this is Paul from the den of the Little Red Ninja Allotment channel, and I'll see you next week. Oh, and before I forget, the whole cost of all those fertilizers there, homemade, is less than £2.50. So for dollars, that's probably about $2 worth there, because the eggshells were free, given to me, bananas were given to me, the onions are from the allotment, and the passata was really the only thing I had to pay for. So, and that was 50p. So, pretty cheap. So, hopefully you'll follow and do it yourself, and you'll save an absolute fortune on liquid fertilizer for your growing. So until then, keep sowing those seeds, and hopefully you'll start planting soon. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.